Hey everybody, it's Angela and I'm back with another process video. And I am going to use one of these folk art stencils that I got at Tuesday Morning. There's a whole bunch in this package that I got for $1.99, and they're meant to be stencils, but I'm just going to use them like a silhouette cut file. I'm also going to use these Basic Grey Collections Fact and Fiction, which are really old, and also this Crate Paper Storyteller collection pack that's old, and just doing a little bit of a stash dive for this layout. Now, these were meant to be stencils, but they're just made out of a thick cardstock. And since I don't have a digital die cutter and I kind of wanted to give that a try, see everyone else doing that whole style of scrapbooking, I thought this would be really fun to do. And so I'm just going to take papers out of this Fact and Fiction and Storyteller collections and back my flowers. And I love watching everyone use the cut files and do this whole type of scrapbooking, and I've always wanted to, really try it some more. And so this is the perfect opportunity. Those stencils were only $1.99 for the whole pack. I think there's I don't know how many are in that package. There's a lot in there. And so I don't feel bad using it this way instead of as a stencil. And so I'm just going through, and I was inspired by those, you saw those crocheted flowers that were there, and they were sitting on top of these papers on my desk, and the colors just inspired me to do this layout. I just loved the colors in this, that bright citrusy yellow, and there's, pinks and blues, and yeah, so I just wanted to give this a try. So a lot of this collection, I've used all these before, so I've got a lot of scraps that I can use, and I also cut into a few new papers. I'm trying to use these up. I got a lot of the Basic Grey Fact and Fiction when they closed it out, so I have a lot of the ephemera packs and stickers and everything to go with it, and I still love the collection, so I really, wanted to use it. And you can see I'm just doing like everyone else does, and I'm just going to back the individual flowers. Now, it's probably a good thing I don't have a digital die cutter, because I only made it through like 2 flowers, and then I ran out of patience to back all these petals. So you'll see what I do. I just back them with a solid paper, the other 2 flowers. Yeah, maybe I'm not cut out for all this paper piecing, but I love how it looks, and I love to watch everyone's process videos doing this. So I definitely, plan on doing it when I have the patience and get inspired to. I think I'll just go through that stencil pack and just use those up. So I'm just going through and kind of cutting a little bit of a petal shape and gluing it on, and I want to just kind of spread the colors around the 2 flowers that I do back individually. And I love how it goes. I accidentally probably cover up too much of it. I know I hear people say that, like when they do their mixed media, you do all this work and then you wind up covering a lot of it up. And that's the case in this one too, but you can still see all of this peeking out. And so I really love the effect that it gives. So I'm not, too sad to cover it up, but yeah, I see what everyone says when they go and back all this and then don't want to cover it up with a bunch of extra embellishments. But I love the colors of this collection and all the embellishments that came with it, so I totally wanted to get them on a page. So there you can see I did the kind of the upper right and bottom left individually, and then the other 2 flowers I just backed with kind of a grid paper, so they're a little more subtle. And then this is the picture I'm going to use. I didn't have a picture in mind when I started this, and I just looked at some that I had printed out on my desk, and the colors of this one just really fit with these paper colors, so I thought I'd go with it. And I'm just going to back it with some of my scraps and bring the colors into the mat. And this is just a selfie of me and my hubby, and we each had a beer in our hand, and we were kind of celebrating the fact that we had a well dug on our farm, and we actually hit water. So it's not it's a drier area, and you can't always tell what's going on underneath the ground. And we had someone douse it, and I don't know. I mean, I've seen a lot of old timers do the dowsing and using dowsing rods and swear by it, but I've never really, I don't know. I don't understand how that whole science works. So I've always been a little bit skeptical. But we, I mean, how else are you going to know? I mean, we kind of looked at the terrain and everything. And so we had someone come in and douse it. And sure enough, we got water. So we were celebrating the fact that, we only had to dig the well once because, we really didn't have the funds to, just drill holes everywhere. So, so we were just having a celebratory beer. And so now I'm just going through the little pieces of ephemera. This is off one of the sticker sheets that came with the fact and fiction line. And that blue tab at the top was just a random one that was sitting on my desk. I think it was like a final sticker off of a sheet that I wanted to get used up, so that got stuck on there. Now I'm going through, this came in the Storyteller collection pack, and I take out a bunch of the flowers. I do wind up using a couple of them, but not as many as what I removed from this sheet. And the Storyteller is kind of travel themed, but there's a lot in here that kind of talks more about your personal journey as well. So, and then there's a lot of generic pieces like these flowers. And so, yeah, I'm still working on this. I think I had bought the collection pack, and then I really liked it, and I found a few more pieces of it at Tuesday Morning at some point, a couple years ago. And so I bought a couple extra pieces to put with that collection pack. So it's lasting me a long time. So you can see there, I try the flowers, but then I'm not sure. And I kind of go around. I don't exactly know what to do. I've gotten to this point. I backed the cut file and matted my photo. And now I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? And so now I'm going through some of the fact and fiction chipboard pieces, and I pull out that butterfly, and that makes it on there. That little tabbed journaling card, I use them some matting piece. I have these little extra pockets that came with the fact and fiction line. I do wind up using one of those as well. And so I just have lots of bits and pieces from the fact and fiction line, and I think I'm going to actually use this line for some of my farm layouts because I want to do those in a pocket scrapbooking style. And I think that this collection, it's got a lot of green in it because we have a John Deere tractor, and so that green is kind of predominant in a lot of my farming layouts. So I think, and I have a lot of the collection too, so I think I might use the basic gray fact and fiction collection to do a lot of my farming layouts, and that's a good way for me to get it used up. And also the line, some of the ones I used on this were the more floral papers and stuff, so it maybe looks a little more feminine, but a lot of the basic gray line is kind of a little more gender neutral, or a little more, I don't know, a little less girly and stuff. And sometimes the farm and some of the stuff we do on that is, not so girly. I don't know how to explain what I'm thinking, but yeah, it's a lot of stuff with the guys and with my husband and, work. And so it's, maybe not something I want to just use florals on. So I'll have more to choose from if I use the basic gray line. So anyhow, I put that little green envelope on the right hand side, and then I've got these little crocheted flowers. I think they were from the dollar bin at Michael's a while ago. And I had a couple packs of them, and now I've condensed them down to this one pack. And I just love how well the colors matched with the paper, so I pulled out a few of those. And those were kind of my inspiration. Those little flowers on top of that paper pad just inspired me to do this layout. So now I'm just using some Zots that were on my desk to stick the flowers down in this little vellum envelope. I put some craft foam on the back of this just to raise my photo up a little bit. And then that way I can stick some more things kind of underneath the corners. And that is a chipboard butterfly out of the Fact and Fiction chipboard pieces. And then I also had these little flags that go with the Basic Gray collection. So I want to put a couple of those on there. And you can see now I'm starting to kind of cover up that upper left flower. I decided to cover that one up more because I didn't individually back the petals of that flower. I wanted to make sure the two flowers that I put all that work into to back the petals, you know, show a little more. So now I have, I'm looking through those flowers from the Storyteller collection, and I do wind up using a couple of them and just tucking them in to bring a little more yellow down to that corner. And I go through, I think I use one or two more just to, you know, kind of bring colors into areas where I don't have much. Yep, there I go. I put another one there. And, you know, I was a little bit unsure of what to do, so I was kind of bouncing all over the place on this layout. And I have these Recollections butterflies. They're like layered butterflies with stitching on them, and I had gotten those at Tuesday Morning. I get most of my stuff at Tuesday Morning just because they, you know, the prices are so good. And there I go. I added one more of those crocheted flowers. And I'm thinking of putting another one up there, but I can't really make it work. I was thinking of putting a little more yellow up there. But yeah, I thought, no, it doesn't need it. Because I was going for an odd number, but it just didn't work. So I'm going to leave it with just the 4 on there. This is a little sticker, I think from some kind of summertime sticker sheet. That's just been laying on my desk that I've been trying to use up, and the colors were right, so I throw a few more of those on the layout. And I like because it has things like selfie and you know, like special day or sunshiny day and things that will work. So I get that on and I'm like, oh, what else can I put on here? And it was looking a little, I don't know, all that color in the middle and nothing on the side. So I decide to do kind of like I've seen like Missy Whidden do, and just kind of rip off and distress one edge and then back it with some paper just so that edge shows. And I really like this kind of pinkish red floral. And so I'm just going to put a piece. I left the bottom on there just so I could line it up to know exactly where 12 inches was. And then, but it's only going to stick out there on the right. I think that just brings a little color over there and makes it a little less stark. And so I was going to put some Heidi Swapp Color Shine on there in gold, but I saw these gold puffy hearts on my desk as well. So I thought that would go good with the Heidi Swapp. So I'm just going to sprinkle a few of those puffy hearts around the page just to bring a little more gold in. And now I'm going to put on the Color Shine. And I hear they're not going to make this anymore. Just when my bottle's getting down there to where I want to reorder, it's not going to be available. So I'll have to find a new gold ink to use for splatters. And then that is my finished layout, and I really love the colors on it, so I really love how it turned out, and it just goes really well with the colors in the photo. And so here are some close-ups. And I just love the little gold splatters, or the ink splatters just really seem to make a page for me. And I just never seem to, you know, get tired of these colors either. So there you can see all the little pins and the flowers and the puffy hearts and the cut file. So I really had fun with this, and I was glad to be able to kind of do a cut file type of layout for you guys. And so if you have any questions or anything, just leave them down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.